Hey everyone, what's going on? Christopher the video game historian here, and I'm returning back to Battlefield this week by taking a look at the history of the most hated and arguably most overpowered weapon in Battlefield V, the Nambu Type 2A. Now, full disclosure before I actually begin this video, and that is I hate this gun. I hate everything about this gun, and I feel dirty that I subjected myself to using this gun for likes and views. But the history behind this gun is actually pretty interesting, as is the way the gun is designed to function. So with that, this is the history of the Type 2A submachine gun. Now, during the lead up to World War II, Japan was pretty sophisticated and advanced in terms of their military tactics and strategies. So much so that they would eventually give the American Marines a rough time when they fought at Okinawa, Guadalcanal, and even at Iwo Jima. However, while their tactics and strategies were pretty advanced, they were still behind the technological curve when it came to weaponry during the war. Until 1942, the Japanese were pretty reluctant on adopting a pistol caliber submachine gun for their military. While they had heavy and light machine guns such as the Type 97, Japanese brass did not see much value in the use of a submachine gun, and projects in developing one were constantly placed on the back burner. It would not be until 1942 when the Japanese developed their first successful submachine gun with the Type 100. And even that weapon took a lot of inspiration from its European counterparts, such as the MP-34. Now, while the Type 100 was Japan's first successful submachine gun, it was not the first one developed or designed. In 1934, an experimental submachine gun was designed by Major General Chikanasuke Tokunaga and developed by Kijiro Nambu, who produced it at his Tokyo factory. This gun will be the Nambu Model 1, otherwise known as the Type 2, or first model Type 2A. And was a completely indigenous design. Compared to every other submachine gun at the time, which had magazines inserted in front of the receiver and grip, the Nambu Type 2A was one of the first guns to be designed to have the magazine inserted into the pistol grip itself, very similar to many modern rifles like the MP7, Uzi, or the Kel-Tec Sub 2000. The Nambu was relatively compact at 24.5 inches in length and had an unloaded weight of 6 pounds. It had a rate of fire of around 500 rounds per minute with a capacity of 30 or 50 rounds of 8x22mm Nambu in a detachable box magazine that fired from a blowback operated closed bolt. The Type 2 was tested by the Japanese military twice, once in 1934 and again in 1937, and both times rejected the rifle, saying that it was too complicated and unreliable. On the outset, the gun may look pretty simple in terms of design, but in reality the complaints about it being complicated were justified. In order to keep the length to a minimum, the gun was designed with the return spring wrapped around the length of the barrel and clasping at the bolt. When the gun was fired, the barrel would remain stationary, while the entire front section of the gun came rearward with the bolt and pushed back forward with the return spring. In order to reduce the tension in the action, a pneumatic bolt buffer was inserted into the rear of the gun. Another common complaint from soldiers who did experiment with them was that the gun was too cumbersome and awkward to handle due to the curved magazine. In 1938, after the gun was rejected for the second time, the Japanese tried to market the Nambu to international buyers. Britain did take an interest in the weapon due to its relatively small size, figuring that it would have potential as a firearm for tank crews. But due to it being only chambered in 8mm Nambu, which was only ever used in Japan, the British decided to pass on the rifle as well. While the military had officially rejected the gun, as did foreign markets, the Japanese eventually did find a use for it. During the Second Sino-Japanese War, the Nambu was issued to the Navy Marines in Singapore in limited numbers. In all, roughly 50 units were ever produced. And that's all I could really dig up on this obscure weapon. It's interesting to note that this gun had some features that'd be standard on a lot of modern firearms, but due to its complex design, was ultimately rejected and probably played a bit into Japanese reluctance of developing a submachine gun for the war, but that's just honest speculation. Now usually, I would end my videos asking you all what you thought of the featured gun, but honestly, your only answer to this gun is that it needs to be removed or nerfed very, very badly. Anyway, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if so, please leave a like and comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media with Twitter. Until next time, I'm the video game historian, and I better not see any of you out on the battlefield with this weapon ever.